no matter the location. From O-A-K-L-A to LV, I'm a Raider.
Raider Nation, what is going on? You are watching the Raiders Report, and today's mailbag presented by our brand new sponsor, Magic Spoon. Go to magicspoon.com/Raiders. You guys can save $5 off your very first order. I don't know about y'all, I love cereal. These guys have perfected healthy cereal. You got 4 grams of net carbs, 13 grams of protein, only 140 calories per serving. That's at magicspoon.com/Raiders. First one coming in here is from XXBell559XX. Hopefully, Arnette wins slot this year, needs playing time. It can move to outside next year or year after or stay. I just hope that he can play because that means that he's actually starting to be worth the high round pick. Unfortunately, I don't think it's ever going to happen because the Raiders coaching staff already seems fed up with him, and he just doesn't really seem that motivated to me to really want to be a great player. We got Alex Thompson. Don't care how much CN lives his life, but now we can cut him. We will be called. See, that's not true. Like, you can't really move on from Carl Nassib for the simple fact of you restructured his contract last year, and if you do cut him, I believe it's somewhere around like $15 million that you're going to eat. So you might as well just keep him on your roster. You might as well just go ahead and keep him there as depth. If you're able to trade him, it still costs you, I believe, like $5 million. The issue is nobody's going to take on Carl Nassib's contract. So you can get out of it next year, but you're going to probably end up stuck with him this year. Let's go to Henry Gonzalez. Hey, Mitch, how is Mullins' health? How is Trevon's health coming along, and how is he picking up the defense from a mental standpoint? I mean, everything that I've heard so far is that he's absolutely killing it. He's picking it up really easily. One of the things that Moehrig was amazing at TCU was kind of being that all-around, super-dimensional safety that he could tackle, he could cover. He's going to be able to pick up the cover 1 scheme pretty simple, or cover 3 scheme, pretty simple, where he can just be that center fielder. But there's been multiple Raiders players that have been like, dude, this kid's the real deal, and I think he's the real deal as well. I thought he should have went in round 1. I believe the injury you're talking about is why he ended up falling to round 2 in the draft back. Everything that I'm seeing is he's 100% K, and he's going to be ready to rock and roll. This one's coming in from the producer. Did the Raiders sign Darron Lee, and will he make the team? Did they sign him? Why did they sign him? Excuse me. Well, I think they signed him for depth, personally. I mean, they're a little bit nervous right now what's going on with Divine Deablo. Apparently, he has an undisclosed injury, which is why he hasn't signed and why he hasn't been at practice. I know they're not too big a fan of Tanner Muse, and I haven't heard much of good things coming from Javen White. So I actually think that they tried to originally go for depth. He's a good sideline-to-sideline linebacker, but I gave this one 2 chalky heads on my Raiders News and Rumors show. But the more and more I'm starting to get information on Lee, it's actually starting to creep. When I first saw the signing, I gave it 1 chalky head. Now it's 2. It might actually go up to 3 chalky heads by the end of the week. Let's go to Rushimo Locke. You think Moehrig has a good rookie season? I do think that he has a good rookie season. The defense is going to be able to work for him. He's a hell of a player. He was the number 1 safety on my board, a player that I was really hoping that the Raiders were able to go out and get. So, yes, I do think that he's going to have a good year. But it also is predicated on us being able to get after the quarterback. Can Yannick and Crosby finally get more sacks? Can we get more pressures? Can the linebackers do their job being able to cover the middle? Can Jonathan Abram play the box safety role well and really help out a lot of these other players? Because one of the reasons why the Raiders got burnt so many times last season is because they couldn't get after the quarterback, and those guys were trying to cover NFL receivers for 4 or 5 seconds. That stuff is not easy to do. So I do think he's going to have a good season. I believe he's going to have a very good rookie season. Not rookie of the year type, but he's definitely, I think, going to be one of those top 10 candidates, if you will. The Raiders Report is presented by Magic Spoon. If you're looking for healthy cereal, look no further than Magic Spoon. Go to magicspoon.com/Raiders, where y'all can save $5 off your very first order. Now, you know that I've been trying to eat healthier, but you know what, man? I like to have a beer here and there. I like to have a good time, and once in a while I have a cheat meal. Usually my cheat meal is actually cereal late at night. Now, luckily, Magic Spoon has made my cheat meal a lot more healthier. 13 grams of protein, 4 grams of net carbs, 0 grams of sugar. You can get cocoa flavor, you can get fruity cereal flavor, peanut butter. I mean, they have so many amazing flavors, and it's available to you at magicspoon.com/Raiders. And to make sure that you guys save that $5 off, it'll be in the comments, it'll be in the description. And if you haven't already, believe me, with all these awesome sponsors we've had on the show before, This is one of my favorite ones. So I used to eat this stuff on the reg, like literally every single day 2 years ago. And now I get to eat it again because we got so much of it here at Chat Sports, I don't know what to do with myself. So not only am I going to be in better shape, I get to eat sweet cereal literally every single day. Now, as a kid also, I ate cereal all the time. It's probably one of the biggest reasons why I have a sweet tooth. But there's a lot of junk in cereal. Like, literally, look at the back of a cereal box and tell me what's in there. A lot of bad ingredients. This stuff, man, no GMOs. It has no bad ingredients. 0 grams of sugar. 4 net carbs, some of it up to 14 grams of protein per scoop, and, I mean, only 140 calories. So if you're trying to eat healthier, if you also want to have maybe a late-night snack, this stuff is pretty solid. MagicSpoon.com/Raiders. All right, this one's coming in from Jose Del Carmen Hernandez. With Hayward and Mullen as the outside corners and with Amik Robertson and Hobbs playing slot, is this the beginning of the end for Damon Arnette? Well, according to the reports, actually, it's Nevin Lawson. Looks like he's going to actually be the starter in the slot. Sure, Amik and Hobbs have the next two, where it's Hobbs actually is in the number 2 spot. Robertson's number 3 as it stands right now. But this could be the beginning of the end for Arnette. I mean, that's why the reports are already coming out that, like, the coaching staff could be moving on from him. And I don't like to say I told y'all so, but at the end of the day, I told y'all that Damon Arnette is never, and I mean never, going to live up to the first-round hype. Let's go to Joker Johnson. How many Chucky heads would you give Darius Stills making the 53-man roster? Ah, man, it's still probably only 1 Chucky head. Really close to 2, though. It really depends how many defensive tackles this team keeps. If they keep only 4, it's 0 Chucky heads, in my opinion. If they keep 5, that's where it's somewhere around 1. If they keep 6, I'll actually bump it up almost to 3 Chucky heads. I believe that he's a better player than Darius Philon. However, the last time Philon was with Gus Bradley, he was very successful. So if he can beat out an old veteran like that, I guess I should say an old veteran, then he ends up making the team. I hope he does make the team, though, because I'm definitely rooting for him. Bored but awake. Interesting name. Since the Raiders have given up hope on Arnette, could they just trade him? What would he be worth? Arnette, to me, is probably worth a 3rd, maybe, actually, I should say maybe 3rd, probably a 4th-round pick. I mean, I had a round 3 grade on him. Pro Football Focus did a redraft of all these players earlier in the offseason. They had Arnette not even going, I believe, in the first 3 rounds. So, like, that kind of goes to show what a lot of other NFL people thought of Arnette coming out of college. And, I mean, he was the 3rd best corner on that Ohio State team. His teammate, Wade, this past offseason, I believe Sean Wade got drafted in the 5th round. I mean, that just kind of he's a good player. But he should have never been drafted in round 1, should have never been drafted in round 2. I had a 3rd-round grade on him, and that might even been a little bit of a stretch at this point. All right, y'all, so which player is the most likely to be traded in 2021? I like this question a lot, so shout out to Sam. I actually believe it's Damon Arnette. Damon Arnette is the player, after seeing these reports that the Raiders could potentially move on from him, the fact that you drafted him in round 1, the fact that we've already seen the Raiders decided to move on from other people, I think the most likely guy to get traded this upcoming season is Damon Arnette. If Arnette is traded, if the Raiders make any kind of move whatsoever, we will be breaking it down here on the Raiders Report. So make sure you stay up to date on all things going on around the silver and black. Don't be the guy that comes like a month from now and you're like, wow, Damon Arnette got traded. I'm like, yeah, man, I already talked about it a month ago. So it hasn't happened. It might happen. And if it does, we'll break it down. So hit that big red button and turn on those noties so you don't miss a thing. All right, we got MadVet Woodworking. What's the latest on Divine Deablo, and do you see Hobbs getting the starting job by midseason in the slot? Well, the latest on Divine Deablo is apparently he has an undisclosed injury. I don't know if he's actually banged up, or I don't know if he just doesn't have a contract set in stone yet that he's really comfortable with, and they're kind of giving him an excused absence. But I will say it's not a good sign this far into the offseason that he's still kind of unsigned. I want to see these players on the field, and I think a lot of people are in agreement. In terms of Hobbs getting the start mid-season in the slot, I'd be kind of surprised. He was a player that, again, 7th-round grade I had on him, but if he comes out and shows out that he's playing well, maybe he deserves it, but that could also be a bad sign, meaning Nevin Lawson didn't get didn't play well. Damon Arnette didn't get an opportunity. Maybe Casey Hayward struggled there. There's a lot of other players that I would put in starting slot over Hobbs, in the beginning. Let's go to Eric. Hey, Mitch, love the show. Thanks for all you do and your crew for what you do, but what's the latest on Rodgers? If you're talking about Aaron Rodgers, I still don't think he wants to become I still don't think he wants to be a Packer. I'm going to guess that he's going to end up going to either the Denver Broncos. The Raiders are always going to be connected. The 49ers would have been interesting, but the team that makes the most sense for Rodgers, I do think, is the Denver Broncos. We got Chuckles, Yannick and Maxx going to be a top 5 rushing tandem this year. I don't know if they're going to be top 5, but I do think they're going to be pretty damn close. Maxx, if he actually played through a bad shoulder injury, which he says he did, but I do find it hard to believe that nobody from the Raiders medical staff reported it, so maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I'm not 100% sure. But if Maxx wasn't 100% healthy, and if Yannick can come up and have a badass season, I mean, if they have 23 combined sacks, that might make them a top 5 rushing tandem, but there's also a lot of talented teams out there. Got a super chat from XXBell559XX. With Yannick being here, I'm betting Koonce being the dark horse best rookie on defense, also FTB. I do think that Malcolm Koonce is a sneaky player to probably have like 4 or 5 sacks. That's not what I'm going to predict. Probably going to be somewhere around 3, but he's going to be somebody that can come in on those NASCAR packages, pin his ears back, and use some of that athletic ability to get after the quarterback.